The Green Bay Packers have just traded star wide receiver Davante Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders for multiple picks, including the Raiders' first-round draft pick, the 22nd overall selection, and supposedly a player. Big B, this is surreal craziness right now. I just had to leave Wheel of Fortune, my most sacred time of the day, to jump on this live stream to break this news. So what are you going through right now?
I'm in the shocked phase
Mhm.
where I cannot believe that just happened. Um, yeah, it's just wild. I really don't know what to say. I'm speechless. It's just crazy.
It is. There's some, like reason behind this trade that we'll get to in a second here. But on the first instant, it really feels like we're watching a Hall of Famer leave the Packers.
Yeah.
A career that could have gone on for a long time, a few more years, would have been a Hall of Fame career, only staying with the Packers. So it's obviously really disappointing. Samurai Beast Warrior, the Packers GM needs to get fired. Pay attention to the actual moves instead of, like being a Twitter casual. Thank you, sir. that, that was overly harsh, but come on.
Yes, it was.
It's not 2019. Let's get this fire Brian Gutekunst crap out of here.
Yes.
The one thing that I did just see from Rob Domowski, or actually you told me that the Packers were willing to pay Davante Adams the same amount. I'm not sure if the number came out on what the Raiders are paying Davante have come out yet, but apparently the Packers were willing to pay Davante that amount, make him the highest paid wide receiver of all time. But he chose to go over and play with the failure of Josh McDaniels and the above average quarterback, Derek Carr. So, if we're trusting Rob's report, that makes it a little bit more heartbreaking. There is a little bit of anger in you. Like, why would you want to leave us? But, as we saw last offseason with Aaron Rodgers, sometimes things can get dicey with front
Yeah.
office and their superstar players. Let's see. Big Play Slay here. Darius Slay is actually in the chat. He has to say, just coming from an Eagles fan, I truly feel bad like you lose the best wide receiver in the league. I feel bad. We appreciate your sympathy, sir. Yeah. Big B, what are your thoughts on some possible compensation? Any players you're looking at on the Raiders?
Yeah. Well, one player I am hoping, but it's never going to happen, is Darren Waller. I would love Darren Waller to be a Green Bay Packer, but I feel like it's not going to happen. Max Crosby would be another one that would be really exciting to get on the Packers. But again, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's wishful thinking on my part.
Yeah, it was interesting with Max Crosby. I think it's pretty. I agree with you. You can pretty much rule that out, especially since the Raiders just extended him,
Yeah.
and also, and with that information, we also know that this trade has apparently been in the works for a little bit now. So,
Yes.
with Darren Waller, that would be really exciting, especially with the possibility of Robert Tonyan also being gone. But now with this cap space freed up from Davante not having that franchise tag on the books, maybe they could afford or they'd be able to afford Robert Tonyan, but Darren Waller would be very welcome. Justin Wilkie, thanks for tuning in. I'd take Hunter Renfrow. Ooh. Now that's an interesting one right there. It'd be interesting.
Forgot about him. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, I don't know if I know too many players on the Raiders roster, to be honest with you. So we'll have to see there. When you look at the Packers' needs, it would be really nice to get a defensive tackle, specifically a proven veteran, even though there's some of those on the free agent market, like Akeem Hicks, Fletcher Cox. But a defense tackle is certainly one where I feel they need a proven veteran. So Pro HD says, what in fact is prime picks? That is how Schefter worded it. The Raiders, they had, like I said earlier on, 22nd selection overall in the draft. But I guess the second round pick for them, it did seem like Schefter was saying only this year's draft picks, but that could have been a misinterpretation by me or just a mistake by Schefter. So we'll have to see on that one. But Big B, what do you think as far as the Packers, like just being able to get value for Davante? I mean, do you think it would? Man, I hate to ask this question because he definitely deserves it, but do you think it makes sense, I guess, for the Packers to move on from Davante Adams, get this value?
Yeah, I think it does make sense, especially after hearing the past few months about all the reports saying that Davante is really unhappy with the Packers organization, and it just sounded like nothing was going to get done. Sounded like both sides were not budging at all. So I think that this actually was kind of a smart move on the Packers' part, and you get 2 picks as well.
Yeah,
and you don't know what that will turn into as well.
True. Yeah. If you would have told me like last week or just a few days ago, really, when we heard that he wasn't going to play on the tag, you kind of have to take a step back and view this from the terms of the alternative to this is if he truly was that unhappy with the Packers, like instead of him going out there in free agency, they franchise tagged him and they had to, factor that in. And now instead of just letting him go, getting probably a third round compensatory pick in 2023, now they get a first, second round pick and Hunter Renfrow. So, or I should say possible players. So they get some value in there. It is obviously crushing to see that caliber of a player go.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
hey, we get $20 million in cap space. So woohoo. I mean, that's positive, right? We get $20 million.
I guess.
Yeah, I know. That's not as exciting, I guess.
I can't have $20 million free in cap space on a jersey, can I, Big B?
Well, I mean, you can put it on the back.
I guess that is true.
You can do that. Yes.
Yes, Pac-Man. We mentioned that earlier. So, and that is like hard to see.
Yeah.
We knew this all along. Like last offseason, the rumors started that he'd want to go to Las Vegas because, or I guess they weren't really rumors. They were just hopeful Las Vegas Raiders fans that were making the connection that Carr, Adams teammates at Fresno State. So, I mean, good for Davante, but it does. You would think his relationship with Aaron would make it stronger. And speaking of Aaron, you think of the possible role he played in this. Like you gotta think. I mean, it's not like Aaron's gonna say, "No, you can't do that," because overall he wants what's best for Davante. Yeah. But you gotta think, GM Aaron Rodgers would want to know that his wide receiver 1 is not going to be with them anymore.
Yeah.
I see a few comments in here talking about like So Pro HG saying get Jarvis, Julio, some premium free agents available, and then Chris Olave from Ohio State in the draft. Big B, we know the Packers wide receiver position wasn't the best before this trade.
Yes.
Fingers crossed for Hunter Renfrow. But yes. I mean, what do you think the future is for this wide receiver position? What they look to add in the rest of free agency in the draft as well?
Well, I definitely think they will now go after a veteran wide receiver in free agency since, like I said, they got $20 million. They actually got some money to spend in free agency. So I think they'll definitely add somebody to that room. And I can definitely see now with them having an extra first-round pick, them going after a wide receiver at pick 22 if we do get that pick.
Yeah, either in that first or second draft pick, second rounder. Because they have been definitely apprehensive, I guess, to take one in the first round in recent years. Mm-hmm. And apprehensive really wouldn't be the right word. I guess they just really haven't gotten the chance. Yes. They really like Brandon Ayuk, Justin Jefferson in 2020. Last year, I'm sure they had a few more they liked. And in the situation in 2020, it was such a deep wide receiver class, similar to how it is now, but they just never got the chance to take one that they thought was worth the pick they had then. So we'll see. I agree with you. I think that 22nd pick, heck, who knows? Maybe they trade up to the top 10 and get big name wide receiver. I don't see that happening, but Chris Olave is certainly a name. The wide receiver class seems to specialize. If the combine and Indy was any tell, that the speed is a big factor in for this wide receiver draft class. So possibly an MVS replacement, but like you've mentioned many times, Big B, this new cap money, maybe they were able to re-sign MVS, but I agree with you. With 2 additional picks now, 2 premium picks, I do think they'll look to add wide receiver with one of those. So
yes,
we'll have to see. But other than that, it's a bleak wide receiver room right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
it was bleak with Adams, so now it's like dust mites.
Yeah, I mean, you got 31-year-old Randall Cobb as the leader in that room. And that's not even an exaggeration. He's probably like wide receiver 2 on the step chart right now.
Yeah, he is.
Big B, I know you've been checking Twitter. Is there any signs you see of compensation yet?
Nothing that I've seen yet. But yeah, nothing.
Okay. Well, I don't think we'll have too much thoughts to add if unless that compensation comes out any minute now. So, man, this is rough. Going to take a while to say goodbye to my Davante Adams jersey that I got literally just a year ago. I got to wear it to a Packers game. Got to see Davante Adams ball out in person. Absolute privilege. And it's difficult to move on. So, Davante, if I was old enough and if I was on Twitter back in 2015, 2016, I would have been defending you on Twitter when everybody was coming at you for having all these drops. Like you struggled in your first 2 years, but I was still there for you.
Yep.
It's like the 2nd round draft pick. He is better than Jeffrey Janis. I'm going to tell you that. So,
wow. All right.
I know that's a bold take around here, but and now time has come to an end. It's been a pleasure to watch him jump up from, doubted to a superstar. And Davante, best of luck in Las Vegas. Although I do hope, I don't want to say that. I was going to say I hope he ends up being rusty and then being cut and back to us. But, I wish him the best. I hope it's only like a 2 or 3 year deal so he can come back to us.
Say 5-year deal.
Probably. It's probably
it is.
Like
it's a 5-year deal, $141 million.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Jesus. All right. So it'll be 36 when that contract ends. But dude, he can do the opposite of what Charles Woodson did. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like Charles started in Las Vegas or was Oakland, came to Green Bay for a period of time, won us a Super Bowl. Except hopefully that Super Bowl is when he is on his 2nd stint with us for Davante.
Yes.
So it's sad. I will be rooting for him. And I hope that the Packers are able to not replace him, but find somebody that can slightly fill his shoes. Somebody that can, walk around his shoes not too wonkily.
Yes.
Any closing message, any epilogues you have for Davante Adams' career in Green Bay?
Yeah,
for now.
It's sad to see him go. Did not expect this. Gonna miss him. He was definitely a stud.
Yes.
One of the best wide receivers I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, these past 2 years, 2020 and 2021, Aaron definitely has Mr. Adams to thank for those 2 MVP trophies. Because those were 2 outstanding seasons at wide receivers. Probably going to cry to some Davante Adams highlights later tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now at Underage Packers, that's all we have for you. We'll probably have podcast episode coming out here sometime soon, sometime in the next few days, to recap this trade once we find out what the Packers get in return, and also all the activity that has been going on in this first week of free agency. Other than that, we thank you for watching. Follow us on all the social medias. I'm sure we'll have some more hilarious memes on the Davante Adams trade. We'll talk to you later. Go Pack, go. Love you, Tay.